All right. Welcome everybody to another episode of Time is Honey. Hope everybody has had a good weekend. Guys, if I start, it might be a little bit late, okay? I was actually talking to my mentor because he's on his way home right now. I just talked to him. I'm honestly gonna get him on here in about the next half hour or so. Um, he's gonna call here in a little bit, actually. Excuse me. Microphone is coming in a little low. Let me fix that real quick. All right. How's everybody doing today? I'm South, Russell. Oh, you're talking to James. Gotcha. Yeah, so my mentor, I just got off the phone with him, guys. So he's going to call here in about 20 minutes and I'm going to interview him with you guys. You guys got any questions for him? He's been doing bees. I'll let him introduce himself, man. I'm not even going to tell you guys. He's been doing bees a long time and he's hard to get a hold of than the president sometimes. And to get him down here, it would be a little bit, I don't want to say taxing. It would just be a little bit more difficult. This would be a lot easier. A little bit camera shy too, so I get it. But all the same, we're gonna get him on here. Yep, bananas. Yes, bananas. Yes. Yep. Yep. Bananas, Daisy. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I promise you, your bees will not hate you. I guarantee it. The bees will not hate you. Yeah, I put them on yesterday, actually, Daisy. And they went past the pollen patties. Hey, Lagrange, good to see you. Happy to have you. My mentor, I'm going to interview him here in a little bit. So if y'all stay on here, we'll do some bee chat tonight and see if we can get some questions answered, just from anybody in general. Um, hey, Michael, how you doing? Yeah, bananas. Yep. And what you do, you just slice them. You can slice them lengthwise, Daisy's honey. You can slice them lengthwise, or what I did, I just sliced them. And you don't want to go super thick. Maybe like, if you could get them to like say a quarter to a couple quarters thick, that'd be perfect. Hey, son of no one, good to have you tonight. Tex, good to have you. Son of no one. Robert Souther, good to have you. Good to have you. Y'all hit that like and subscribe. We are gonna do it. Thanks, man. It's usually a mohawk, but I just haven't put it up, man. A little difficult with the monitor. So but yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that, James. It is. It's usually a mohawk, man. And it's really long right now. I haven't styled it in months, dude. Last time I styled it, I had it up in Battle Spikes. Or I'm sorry, Liberty Spikes. And they were looking dope, dude. That's like putting them up in Liberty Spikes. It's hard to style a fan mohawk. You have to have somebody do it. You have to have a couple people do it, actually. You got to have. Okay. Yeah, mixed reviews. Yeah, you know what, Daisy, my bees went straight to them, man. They went straight past the pollen patties and went straight to the bananas. So, and that's what my mentor's been doing down here in Texas, So I'm gonna run with it. Yeah, that's just what he does, and I'm gonna follow what he does, man, because so far he's never seemed to have been wrong, and he's been keeping bees in the same place for all of his life, pretty much. And that's the thing, Daisy. I don't know where you're at, but down here in Texas, we're gonna have different climates. Your bees might not take to bananas so well because you guys might have a different type of protein up there, right? At this time of year. I I don't know. Never hurts to try. Hey, misbehaving Tom. If it works, yeah, why not? Why not? They're gonna go. The bees are only gonna take what they're gonna take. They're not gonna take any resources that they don't need, right? They're not gonna waste energy. Bees aren't like that. They're not wasteful on energy. They're very resourceful. Okay, so New York. Okay, so yeah, different. Yeah, see, it's 70 degrees down here. They're starting to brood up right now. And the average down here, I go off Weather Channel. I know a lot of people don't use Weather Channel, but I do. It's just what I use. Let's see here. Our 10-day forecast: rain tomorrow, rain Wednesday, which is really nice because we need the rain in Texas for sure. We got 68 tomorrow, 63 Wednesday, but it's rain on both days. 70 and sunny on Thursday, 56 and sunny on Friday, but it's going to be hit 29 Friday night. So it's going to dip down pretty low again for us. Then it's going to start averaging, 65 degree days after that. Yeah, no kidding, right, Tex? We'll take the rain when we can get it, right? Yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And once my mentor gets on here, we'll talk about microenvironments because where he lives and where I live are two completely different environments. 20 miles north of me got crazy ice. Where I'm at, it got a mix of rain, ice, sleet, cold. It got it all. But 20 miles north, extreme ice. Nope, no BS. And it really does. Where I'm at, it's hilly. I have different microclimates, and 5 miles away, the climate's different. You can tell just by driving sometimes on a foggy day. You might hit patches of fog in a certain area, and then another area you might not. That tells me there's different climates going on with that kind of, when I see that kind of activity, and it really does. You in the country where I live, you might hit a really heavy, dense patch of fog, and then 5 minutes later, you might be out of it, and it might be clear, sunny, and cold. So, but yeah, man, take rain when we can get it. That's for sure, man. That's for sure. And we need it. The Lake Medina is at 6% right now. So that's the kind of water content that we're dealing with in the hill country, Texas right now. It's at 6%. And Medina Lake is usually full, but because of the extreme drought we've been having for the last, I don't know, how many years in Texas? Hey Lee, good to have you, man. How you doing, Lee? Good to have you. Good to have you. Yep. So yeah, a couple days of rain. Gonna be nice. And if it keeps raining like that all season, we'll be in good shape. We'll be in darn good shape in Texas. If we keep getting rain every couple of weeks like that, it won't flood for sure. It'll just keep the ground saturated unless we get hammered down with water. Hey, Silver Gorilla, good to have you. Oh, all the way from Jamaica. What's up, Kai? What's up, brother? Hey, man, good to have you, dude. Yep, Wichita Falls, Daisy. Dude, they got crazy weather. They got crazy ice up. Austin got weather. Austin got crazy ice, man. Got a lot of weather. Pretty much everywhere north of San Antonio got ice. North and east and like kind of, yeah, pretty much northeast and west of San Antonio all got ice. Even parts of San Antonio got ice. They were shutting down schools in San Antonio. Man, hey, Tex, I just met a cabinet maker tonight. I put together, well, our group, we put together a beekeeping group out here in the hill country. And I was out the American Legion tonight picking up some flyers for the group. I ran into a cabinet maker, man, who said we can have any kind of spare wood that we want. Dude, I'm so pumped, man. That he's like, dude, you guys can have all the wood that you want, man. Yeah, Lagrange, I don't even want to know. Yeah, dude. I'm Lagrange. I grew up in the Sierra Nevadas in California, dude. It snowed 500 feet one year where I grew up, dude. No, no BS. 500 feet. I am not even close to bullshitting you on that. 500 feet was the record snow in one year. Hey, Flower Street, good to have you. Yeah, that was record. It was Mammoth Mountain, California. You could look it up, man. No, I'm not even BSing you, man. It was a record year, dude. They got hammered with snow. Once one storm dumped like 20 feet, man. It was absolutely insane. Absolutely insane, man. But let's talk about the weather they just measured up on Mount Washington. Minus 108, the lowest cold recorded ever in history. Yeah. Well, Lagrange, and that 500 feet was for the year. That was the year accumulated total. Yep, changing always. Well, up there at resort levels, I mean, dude, you're just snowed in, man. I mean, they would have snow plows and come through, but man, I'm not even lying, man. You're seeing telephone wires, it's crazy. It's crazy. But I'm not even close to kidding you. It's absolutely insane, man. Never seen anything like it. I mean, I remember it snowing up at resort levels, dude, for days, man. And not talking just like, a little snow. I'm talking like snowing big fat snowflakes for 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day. 6 inches in the past 10 years, Lee. Right? 3 hours from your place. But yeah, a lot of snow up at where I grew up in the Sierra Nevadas, man. It was my back door was Sierra Nevadas. It was we saw weather all the time, man. All the time. And Sierra Nevadas just got hammered with a bunch of snow recently with all that moisture that came over. They got hammered with a lot of weather. But the most recent weather we had, shoot, that was crazy. I'm happy we're out of that. I thought my bees were dead, man. I was so bummed. I thought they died. But Lee and those guys told me, no, whenever you have cold like that, it's always gonna have drop, man. So thanks, Lee, and you guys for helping me with the anxiety on that. Yo, filament corner, right on. What's up? What's up, Spanky? Yeah, I'm waiting for my mentor to call. He just called about 5-10 minutes ago before we got on. Um, I've really been wanting to just get him on here, man, and just get talking bees with us, man. Uh, I'll introduce him when he calls and everything, and if you guys want to have questions, by all means, drop them in the comment section, man, and I'll get them out to him for sure. Really nice guy, man. Um, Again, I won't tell you his story. It's his place to tell his story. Um, Nice. Got your first chicken egg today. Woo, 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 woo. First chicken egg of the year. Bust a move. Sorry. First chicken egg of the year. Yeah, man, that's a sign spring's coming. You're right, man. That's a sign spring's coming, man. It's all right, son of one. Do you think you split it too early, man, or what? Drop in. Talk about it. What happened, man? You think you split it too early? It's all right, man. I know you can split too early sometimes. My mentor said he's done that and he's lost some. Um, had all the components. Okay. What were you worried about, man? Talk to us about it. Made you anxious, man. Think it has everything. And where you at, son of one? Had all the components. All right. Would you split it into like a nuke or um okay, so you're in Dothan, Alabama. Did you split it into a nuke or like 10 frame? I'm curious. Tell us about your split, man. Okay, split it into a 10 frame. All right. You can join the chat if you want to, son of one. It was a 10 frame. What's your weather looking like for the next few weeks? Let's see, you're in Dothan, Alabama. Let's take a peek here. In Alabama. Let's take a peek here. Oh, you got pretty fair weather, dude. Ah, here he is. What's up, Ed?
Hey.
Tell us about your split, man.
Well, I just never had done a split. Never have done a split yet, and this first one because my going into my second season, and just following. They had two charged queen cells in it, and it had another um, cell had a there was a queen cup had an egg in it, so it basically had three eggs in it, but two of them were fully charged. I mean, they had all the stuff they needed in it. So you know, and the whole top was what it was a double. So I'm coming through. I'm going outside for a minute.
Yeah. And just real quick, you guys, the reason I look up is because I have a lot of stuff on my desk and my TV's mounted up off my desk. Okay. So pardon me if I look up from time to time. It's just the way my stuff's set up. I do podcasting and desk space is everything, man. I couldn't possibly crowd my desk with a 42-inch monitor and everything else that I have on here. Okay. So let's just clear that up right now. If I look up from time to time, my screen it's right here in front of me, but I also have a device right here in front of me. Okay. So if I'm looking around, you guys, for that reason. Sorry.
My imaginary friends. No, but I was just anxious because I've not gone through a full season, start of a season with anything.
Mm-hmm.
I got these bees. The first one I got in May, and the other swarm I caught in October.
Okay.
So I've not gone through a full season with bees, so I've not seen, you know, I've learned enough to look and notice these different features on the comb when you're going through it. So I was like, well, I was thinking about, well, I need to split them. They're getting pretty crowded in that box. I had a double deep, so I went through and found the cells. I said, okay, we got cells. Let me find the queen. I started rooting around, found the queen in the bottom box. I said, okay, snatch the top box, put it over to the side. Top one had the cells in it, so shut them off, face them the other direction, put some foliage in front of the entrance. And some of the foragers have already gone back, so that's the next project is trying to get some more nurse bees in there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's what you're worried about, your nurse bees? Feel like maybe shorted them on nurse bees?
Well, the bottom box had like almost 6 frames of brood in it,
Okay.
and the top one had 2.5.
Okay.
So I didn't know if I had enough brood cover, queen nurse bee coverage.
Checking your weather too. You got pretty decent weather. It's not like you're getting down in any freezing frigid temperatures. You got a cold day coming up Saturday the 11th down in 30. It's going down to 33.
35.
Yeah, like 33. Hey, Dennis, good to have you. All right. So you got six frames of brood, you said?
The bottom box had 6 frames. The top one had 2.5, I think, almost 3.
Okay. And you said you split the top box? Bottom.
Yeah, I took the top box off and made it its own colony. See, I'm not even calling it a hive yet till the queen comes back mated.
Okay, so she's not mated. All right.
No.
Okay.
It was a brand new two queen cups that were charged. They
Okay.
had the eggs and the royal jelly in it, and then it had a third one which was just the egg.
Mm-hmm.
So there's options there. They got 3 chances to make it.
I think you're gonna do fine, man. Dude, I was sweating my bees through the cold, man. I thought they were gonna die. I did, man. I thought they were gonna die. But man, I honestly think they're going to be just fine. That's just me. I don't know. What does everybody else think? You guys think his bees are going to be okay with that split he just described? You did. I think they're going to be fine, Ed. I really do, man. I'm gonna
They
pull up.
got plenty of food.
They got food. They got brood. They got the resources. Are your girls bringing in pollen yet? Right now?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so they got food. Then they're set.
The bottom section of that hive, I put the pollen trap on it, and they almost filled the basket up on the pollen trap in one day.
Oh wow. Okay. I got a question. What's your date for
So,
checking the queen, Ed? Hardest part is being
uh,
patient. Yep.
my date for checking the queen, well, I'm figuring it's anywhere between, you know, 3 to 5 days, because I checked the week before, Saturday to Saturday. I checked last Saturday, or the Saturday before. They didn't have them in there. They didn't even have the queen cups. So somewhere between that Saturday and the last Saturday just now, they have built the cups, charged 2 of them. So I'm thinking they're anywhere between 3 to 5 days, at least the ones they put the royal jelly in.
So you have
So
another week and a half before she hatches. She's 16 days, right, for the queen to pop out, right?
yeah, that's what they say. It's 16 days.
16 days. So is the cup sealed? The cups were
No,
sealed,
it
right?
wasn't. They weren't closed, so they're still, because the egg when the egg hatches, they start feeding it royal jelly. So like I said, it could be anywhere between 3 to 5 days. Because 3 days the egg will hatch, and then they'll start feeding it the royal jelly.
Okay.
From what I've looked at, I mean, I could be wrong.
What's your day count right now? Do you remember when you split it over?
I did it actually Saturday, so it's only Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Today is 2 days.
Okay, so say it's the second day technically, right?
Yeah.
Sunday would be 1, today's the second day. So you have next week would be 9 days. 10, 11, 12. Let's see. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So you're looking around the 20th, give or take.
And then the queen, she got to walk around in the hive for another couple of weeks, hardening up before she flies.
Yeah.
There's plenty of drones. That was the first thing because I was wanting to look to see. I'd seen drone cells the prior week, and I said, "Well, let me see if they've hatched." And they're all in that hive right now.
They're waiting for
On
her.
both.
Yeah.
They're on the bottom and the top. So I was like, I need to do something before I got to get a swarm.
I haven't seen any drones yet, man. No drones yet. But I again, I haven't broken open the brood box in my girls yet, man. Once I start seeing drones, and then I guess I'll start worrying about swarming then, But I haven't seen any drones yet. Not yet.
It's all new experience going through this myself this year. So I've had a lot of different hurdles I've hit and try to get over.
Yep, Kai says from capped, it's about 8 or 9 days until hatching, depending on the temperatures. And you're having some pretty good temperatures down there, it looks like.
It's been pretty warm during the days.
Yeah, I mean, dude, next week you're going to be averaging like close to 75-degree days, dude. You're going to be having like 77 average the 14th through the 20th. Wednesday, the 15th is going to be 79, 78 on the 16th. I mean, those are good warm days, man.
I've even had a swarm trap out for 2 weeks. Just people say no, not too early to put one out. So I said, "Oh, I get one charged and ready."
Yeah.
And I've been seeing scouts looking at it already.
Nice.
That
That's
means
from egg to mated queen with good weather, 28 days. Yeah, it's pretty quick. Yeah, until she's ready to fly out. Yeah. When she's ready to fly out, it's like the 27th, 28th day. Yep, because she's still got to mature. Yeah.
And then I got to worry about her getting picked off and not making it back.
You got to worry. I know B math. We're sitting here doing B math, huh, Brian? Yeah.
B math.
81 on Wednesday. Nicely. Yeah, we're
Well,
gonna have days here too.
well, the only way you get B math to work is you have to divide first to add.
You gotta do it backwards, right? All right.
Yeah.
All right. You're having good average weather, so yeah, we're still gonna have some cold days. Not average, crazy cold, but we're still averaging mid 60s, 70s. So I'm just waiting for it to definitely to warm up here just a little bit more. The Algeritas haven't quite popped out yet, so I know we still have a little bit longer. Once those pop out, I'll know we're in business. Yeah, Lee's been having a good lot of good weather. I think you're about to get a bunch of rain too, Lee.
2 left in the house.
So you're gonna take them out on me and short me.
Divide
I'm
them
buying some tomorrow.
Lee.
Are you on it? Are you on it?
Mm-hmm.
Are you muted?
Mute it. Mute it. Divide to multiply. Yeah, but how's everybody's bees doing today, man? Spanky, what are you up to tonight, man? 3 divided by 2. A little rain Wednesday and Thursday. Okay. Nice. We got you backs, Ed.
Yeah, I'm back, man.
Happy wife, happy life.
That's actually the daughter's wife. Or the wife's daughter, I mean.
Wife's daughter. Okay.
Yeah. 3 divided by 6 is 2 is 6. Yeah.
So how many boxes or how many colonies are you sitting on right now then?
Tentatively 3 at the moment. I've had 2 all winter.
All right. And you're
I
strong.
thought that was the strongest one I just split.
He's already pulling honey down in Jamaica. Lucky.
I saw him a video of his today. I know that was one of his just recently.
Yeah, he's down in Jamaica, man. It's pretty cool. Look at how far reaching it is. You know, it's really cool. I was just looking up hots last night, man. I was looking up the Scoville level, man, and seeing which ones were the hottest. And the dude that created there's one like the scorpion pepper, man. It's it's a patient game until
When you get them reapers get you really pretty good too. And there's also I don't know what country it comes from. It's an Asian country. They have a little tiny Peking pepper. It looks like a little red BB. Yep. That thing will tear you a new one. If you even touch it.
I was looking at what it is, the actual chemical in the pepper, and I forget what it is, but it's there. It's on the Scoville scale, and it says base like the hottest. Like I forget the name of it, but like it'll kill you, dude. It's so hot. Like if you were to eat like a little bit of this stuff, it's like raw, the hottest chili extract ever in the planet, and it's like 4 million. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It would close your throat up, basically.
Cause you to have anaphylactic shock.
Yeah, chili Pekins. Yeah, they're good, dude. But they're spicy. Kai. Are there many beekeepers in Jamaica? I was wondering that. Is there a lot of beekeepers? Do you see a lot? Thank you, LaGrange. That's what it is. Starts with a C. Yep.
Well, the capsaicin.
Capsaicin, yeah. Yep, capsaicin. I didn't even know how to say it. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Yep. I was looking on the Scoville level, and like raw capsaicin is like, yeah, you just don't eat it. I'll stick with ice cream. Right?
Stick to the ice cream. Oh my goodness.
Oh man. Right. Yeah. So yeah, it's hey Wildwood, good to see you. Flower Street Farm bees don't know the numbers. It's not full regulated like in the States. Okay, so it's so you guys are you guys allowed Kai, are you allowed to import OA into the country? I wonder. Or do you, or if you do, is there some kind of red tape you have to go through in order to get it into Jamaica? What's the laws regarding you OA in?
There was someone I was talking to. I forgot who I was talking to that was looking into what plants they collect nectar off. The bees will collect nectar off of that actually have oxalic acid in it. And if you increase that number in your area, what would it do with the mice?
Okay.
Is what the question they were asking, you know. And I have no clue.
Yeah.
I'm not a herbologist.
Okay.
But I
So
do know weed to get you stoned.
I do too. The bees don't like it. Okay. So rhubarb has OA in it. Okay. Rhubarb. All right. All right. So cool. You've all imported OA without any issue. Nice. Okay. So your import laws. Okay. Because I know some countries have like stricter import laws with OA, and it's really it's more of a pain in the butt than anything to get it in. Yeah, the Carolina is like 2.2. Well, I think that's as hot as it is right now. And that the guy that created it, it's madman. That guy. Somebody goes out there and says, "Hey, I'm going to make a hot pepper that's so hot it's going to be almost impossible to eat." But he's won years in a row the hottest pepper in the world award. So it's not like, and I don't think anybody's ever going to beat him. Not at this point. Nobody's ever come close to his pepper, man. Oh, that's a good question. How long is your honey flow in Jamaica? Only with fire and pain?
6 months.
Smoking Ed, yeah. That's his name, right? Smoking Ed made the Carolina Reaper. Yeah, he does. He eats them at his desk like candy. That's what I understand, man. Could you imagine growing that and just eating that and just building tolerance to that? Just sit there eating Carolina Reaper pepper like it's nothing.
Like it's a fruit or something.
Yeah, like it's a piece of fruit, man. Ghost peppers and habanero. And you know what I've heard, LaGrange, is that stuff is actually really good, man. With ghost peppers and habanero peppers and jalapenos, I've heard it. There's a little bit of a demand for the spicy honey, man, and I'm kind of tempted to try it because it does. It sounds really good.
But I've heard with that when you infuse it, you gotta watch the moisture content.
Yeah, I think what Brian said is you wanted to hydrate it first. You dehydrate the peppers, and then I think that's what he said. Brian from Wildwood, I'm sorry, or Flower Street. I'm sorry, Grayson, from Flower Street. I think that's what Brian said. Is you dehydrate it, and you turn it into a powder, and then you infuse it because you strip all the moisture content out at that point. So I think that's what he was saying. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, but I think that's what you said in one of the other chats. Is you dehydrate it, and then you crush it into a powder. Can't quite remember. Spanky's breeding peppers too. Nice, man. Anybody can join the panel too. Once my mentor jumps on, we'll see what happens. He's supposed to be calling here in a little bit because I really just want to get him talking with you guys tonight and get some questions out to him. And he's got a lot of experience beekeeping, man. And I'd hate to he said something to me the other day and it really stuck, man. And he's pretty damn right about it. Is he's been keeping bees for a lot of years, and he's got a lot of knowledge up in his head that he's probably sitting on, but for sure, I know he's sitting on that. Um, I feel like he needs to talk about it. I told ever since told him, I was like, dude, I need to get you talking just in general. That way we can just get you talking about your experience, um, so we can learn more from him. Because I know there's a lot of beekeepers out there with a lot of experience who might not have come forward and talked about everything, because beekeeping is kind of a one-off thing. I don't want to say it's one-off, but I mean, how many people are beekeeping? You know, pull
Yeah, I
noise.
think beekeeping is getting now to like it was when I first, right after I started doing tattooing. When I first got into tattooing, you had to sit with somebody for years to learn the art and the stuff that they did, and then after a while, I started getting, well, we'll show you. Just come on, you get certified and by the
Yep.
state and everything else.
Yep.
It started opening up, and now everybody was doing it, and so
Yeah.
now I think it's the same thing going on with bees. See people who have held secrets for years. Some of them will start letting them go.
To my mentors.
Uh,
Yeah. Dude's been keeping bees all his life, man. Yeah. Like not even it, and so you walk into his house, man, and it's just all beekeeping equipment. It really is. His front porch, yeah. It's I mean, he's the things that he's already taught me, how his queen rearing is going down, everything, devices he's building for queen grafting, everything. And I'm just like, dude, where have you been? There's a whole beekeeping community out here that would no doubt love to hear what you have to say, and would no doubt, value your input, because there's a lot of old school beekeepers out there, like you're talking about, that are sitting on secrets. And he wouldn't take me into his bee yard for 6 months. He wasn't the type of person that was just going to let me into his bee yard. He was like, no, I don't know you first. First, we got to meet. We got to hang out. We got to talk. And then maybe we'll go into the bee yard. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, come into my bee yard, because down here in Texas, he had theft issues. So he wasn't just going to let some random guy that he met into his bee yard, possibly steal his crap, So some of the things he's dealt with being a beekeeper. And that LaGrange, that's why I want to get him here. I don't think it's not that he's keeping the secrets. He's very old school, dude. He works on like ranches and stuff. That's what he does. You put him in front of a computer. If you put him in front of this podcast setup, he'd probably lose his damn mind. He'd be like, what is all this stuff? Honestly, that's the type of person he is. But you put him out on a Cat D3, he'd probably rip it apart with his eyes closed and then put it back together with his eyes closed. So, but yeah, he's been beekeeping, and that's why I want to get him here, man, is because it's not that he's keeping the secrets. It's just I don't think he's ever had somebody to give him the time and the platform to talk about how he's been keeping bees, man. It is. You're right. It's an obsession, dude. It really is. Yeah. Bees and Trees in the name of the show. I put a link to.
Well, back in the 30s and 40s, we were mostly agrarian country.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't as we are today.
Yep.
So, most of the houses back then, they had all several hives, if not 100 hives. And you know who took care of those hives? The kids.
Well,
the kids took care of the hives. That was their job.
Yeah. Yep. And we'll let him tell his story. I don't want to tell his story because we'll talk about him as the man and then the beekeeper. And it's going to be two different people, You're going to hear about him as a person and then him as the beekeeper. And it's, and I don't know how long Bob Benny's been keeping bees for. I know he's got a lot of years in it. I know Cam's been doing it a long time. And just the experience level here alone in this chat, I mean, there's well over 100 years of beekeeping experience right here. Doesn't matter if you're a first year or 20 years of beekeeping, you still have the experience. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If you're a first year beekeeper, you're still bringing something to the table. You could bring an idea to the table that's one of these old timers might have never had since 81. Okay. You're an introvert. Hey man, social media is the best way to go. Word of mouth. Dude, I started a beekeeping club out here in the hill country, dude, and it's fucking taken off. It's getting bigger than I thought it would in such a short amount of time. It's getting exponentially bigger. It's crazy. Oh, dude, Peter Gunn. Yeah, stealing bees in Texas. Dude, you don't want to get caught stealing bees in Texas. You really, really don't. You're going to get in a lot of trouble. Here he is right here.
Cattle rustling.
Yep. All right. I'm going to get him on here, guys. So let me go ahead and get him on here. Hey, John, can you hear me?
I'll be right back.
Okay. Hold up here. Let me see if I can. Hey, John, can you hear me? All right. I'm going to have to kick him. Hey, John, can you hear me okay? Okay. What about now, John? Can you hear me now? All right. Hang on. I might have to kick Son of No One. Hang on. Okay. Hang on. All right. John, can you hear? Hang on. I might have to call him back. Give me a second. There we go. Okay. Got him.
Hello,
John, can you hear me? Yeah, I got you. I had to rehook up everything. All right, John.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Okay. Can you all hear John okay? Just let me get a sound check here real quick, John. I want to make sure the chat can hear you okay.
Yeah, can you, anybody hear?
Yeah, type a 1 in if you guys can hear him okay, will you? Nice. Nice. Okay. All right, John. So we're live on YouTube. There's about 20 people watching. We got people all over the place. We got a guy down in Jamaica that's a beekeeper. But if you would, John, will you go ahead and give a quick introduction on who John the man is, not John the beekeeper? Just to give us a quick 1-minute introduction on John the man.
Well, I'm 55 years old. I'm a diesel mechanic. Been married 35 years. I kept bees for around 40 years. The men that taught me were older people. My great uncle kept bees for better than 100 years. And grandparents and everything still had bees. And I just work and take care of bees and
all right.
That's pretty much it.
So let's when did you get your first hive? When did you get your first set of bees? What was the first lesson you learned as a beekeeper? Like, let's tell us about John's first beehive.
Yeah, I got my first beehive. I tracked them from a water source in the backyard, which was a dog's dish, to about a mile away.
Okay.
And when they collect water, they go straight back to the hive. So I used a compass and I went right to them as a 10-year-old boy. And my dad, my uncle, and grandfather, we all got together and we cut the tree down, split it open, turned it into firewood for the winter. And I got my first beehive that way.
Okay. And you said your grandfather was your teacher at the time, correct?
I had a grandfather and an uncle and a great uncle that all kept bees.
Okay.
And they all pretty much taught me over the years how to work them and take care of them and everything like that. And but yeah, I got my first beehive when I was 10 years old.
Okay.
And then I started with those. By the time I was 13, I took one hive and I turned it into 35 hives.
13. Okay.
Then those actually got burnt in a major fire. They had like a pasture fire. It covered several thousand acres. And I just had very few left, and I started all over again.
Okay.
And but yeah, as far as working them, I had a great uncle that started when he was 10 years old, and he died at 112. And I actually had to go to the nursing home. He had 5 hives out back in an open lot that they had, and I had to, when he passed away, I had to go pick those hives up. And but he,
that was one of the first things
huh?
John told me. I got a kick out of that when me and John first met.
Yeah,
He said he had to go pick up
yeah,
his uncle's hives from the nursing home.
and but yeah, I had to go pick them up, and he had 5 hives there, and but he kept bees. He had his mind, everything like that for about 100 years. He died at 112, and like I say, he had bees for about 102 years.
Okay.
And
kept them right up till the day, pretty much, huh?
yeah.
Okay. And what part of you?
And
where have you been keeping bees at most of your life?
in Texas, Central Texas, Hill Country. I grew up in Mason, and I live in Kerrville now.
Okay.
And I have bees in Hunt, Kerrville, Comfort area, Fredericksburg, and I've got 38 hives right now of my own, and then I take care of another 30.
Okay, so you're sitting on about 70 hives. And you said, I was talking to you, how your girl's doing, by the way. You said you went out and checked this weekend.
This weekend, when I check them, they all are picking up.
Okay.
I watch for the days getting longer, and when the days start getting longer, I start feeding bananas to them. And they're right.
Real quick, stop on bananas, because I just fed mine, and I've told everybody here, hey, feed your bees bananas. Can you tell everybody your reasoning behind that, if you would?
Well, what I was taught, and I don't know if this is in any book or anything out there. I don't think I've ever read a complete book in my whole life on bees. What the banana does, if you take your hive tool and you peel the banana and you slice it long ways and make it about an 1/8 inch thick slice, and you lay it across your frames, they like that kind of sticky, gooey banana, but not overripe, but not green. If it's green, they won't eat it. But if you get it to where it's a ripe banana, they'll eat it, and it'll actually give them enough protein to start when they start laying and growing bees. It'll actually make you grow 50% more bees in the hives. Okay. It has enough protein, zinc, what is the other stuff that's in a banana?
Potassium, vitamin K.
Vitamin K. It has enough vitamin and minerals in it that it actually helps them. It'll help them with the proteins and everything like that to give them more energy. It will help them just all the way around health-wise. Okay. And when they don't want it anymore or don't need it, they'll actually quit eating it and go back to your pollen patties. But if you put it in right now, your pollen patties, they'll leave them alone and go strictly to the banana.
I've fed mine bananas, and they just did just that. No lies. They bypassed the pollen patties completely. They had nothing to do with that.
Yeah. And they eat pollen patties this time of year real slow. And I don't know if it's due to proteins or whatever that they're needing, and it's their food, and they slow down on it. But they seem to eat the bananas a lot faster, and they'll probably eat it up, bananas, and probably until mid-April or so.
Okay.
And then they'll start slacking off on them. And once they start slacking off on them, they're not needing that type of protein anymore. But by then, your bees are growing.
They're pollen at that point, yeah.
Yeah. And they're eating pollen to other bees and stuff like that. But for themselves, it helps them grow real fast. It really does.
Somebody said in here, Lagrange. He's from up north, and I think where's Lagrange from? I can't remember. Canada. I can't remember where he's from, but
Lag-
yeah. So
There is
it's
a Lagrange, Texas, but there's other Lagranges upstate. So
yeah, he's a beekeeper. He's another one of the beekeepers. Okay, he's in Quebec, so he's way up north, and he's saying his guess is bananas are good for spring buildup, but bad for winter because it would clog up their guts. We're guessing. Like you want to
yeah, but we have a different climate here. I mean, like today was
70.
what was it, 75 degrees.
Mhm.
So we have a different climate. I don't know if it would clog them up north, where it's colder. It might,
Okay.
but I know down here it's not going to. I mean, I've never had a problem with it clogging them up or anything like that.
Okay.
It's pretty rich, so they tend to fly out and go to a pooping or
Yep.
cleansing, and they do really well on it here.
Okay.
And like if you could spread like later spring, if you could try the banana on some of your hives, I think it would help you a whole bunch.
Okay.
Like later on when it gets a lot warmer. But our days here are getting, like, I watch the Weather Channel, which is a global weather, and they put on there, like sunrise and sunset. Well, by the end of this week, we're going to add another 5 minutes to our days. And when you start seeing 5, 10 minutes, 15 more minutes, to the day, that's when you want to start putting that in there, because they're already here moving, like cleaning out the brood chamber and stuff where they've stored honey, and they're opening the hive up. And that's when you want to feed this, is when they're starting to open the hive up and start a good brood chamber. Even though we're still going to have some cold weather, we'll probably have cold weather up until mid-April.
Yep.
And but it's not harsh weather. It'll drop down, warm up, drop down, warm up real quick, within a couple of days here. And I know up in Quebec, some of their bees fly at 4 degrees outside, and
I was we had a Canadian beekeeper in here recently, and their days in the summertime are crazy long. They have like 12,
yeah,
13, 14-hour days.
right. But their temperatures is a whole lot. You see, our bees don't even have the hair on them
Yep.
that they have up there.
Yep.
We bring those bees down here, and they would quit working during the heat of the summers where we get 105 and 110
Yeah.
and stuff like, and really be hard on them, where our bees would have a hard time living through the winter up there. We have enough problem with it is. I mean, this last cold snap that we had, where we had 11 degrees and a minus 36 wind chill.
Yep.
I mean, I did lose some smaller hives due to the weather, and but I sugar boarded them and everything like that. They got good vents on them, but they still, if you're running a cold day and you got 93% humidity, they have that same moisture inside the hives, and the sugar board should soak it up.
Mm-hmm.
But times that it's just too much.
I got a question. Have you ever fed peanut butter, John?
No,
Okay.
I've heard of it.
Okay.
I've never fed peanut butter myself.
Okay.
No
such thing as a dumb question here, you guys, ever. You never know,
no,
man.
I've heard of it, but I haven't tried it. Matter of fact, there was an older gentleman by the name of Emil, I think it was Emil Burke. He was talking about mixing peanut butter and honey together and just mix it up like you'd put it on your own bread to eat it as a sandwich, and feed that to the bees. And it has a high protein concentrate and stuff like that.
So I was thinking DC said for the oils.
Yeah, and the oils too. I also heard of another person mixing soybean flour and peanut butter and honey together.
Okay.
And using that as a carb protein everything like that. Now, I did run into a guy last spring. He was feeding them ice cream.
Ice
I-
cream, huh?
Yeah,
What?
ice cream, and which was a milk, and I think he was mixing it with soybean flour.
Like some soybean
And
flour.
yeah, and mixing it to where they would get it all ate up before it soured and stuff like that. He wasn't putting out large amounts.
Okay.
But I even was feeding ice cream, which was a high concentrate and stuff like that. And he said that his bees were loving every bit of it. Now I don't know if what he was mixing with it to get them to go to it,
Mm-hmm.
or if they were just do it naturally.
Okay.
And I'll even mix. Sometimes I will mix your goat's milk supplement that you would feed young goats
Yep.
in with my patties, but then I don't put very much because I don't want it to sour.
Mm-hmm.
But they seem to eat it just fine.
Okay. Let's see.
And but yeah, but bananas, I know now is the time to put bananas in
Okay.
if you're going to, or later in the spring when your days start getting longer, then you may have a different setup there. And like way up north, I would say later in the spring, if they accept it, you'll see them once you put it in there, they'll go to it right then and start eating it.
They did for mine.
And
If you're putting bananas on your bees, you'll know they're gonna go right to it. I guarantee it. I promise you.
yeah,
They did that for me.
Yeah. They'll go right to it.
Yep.
And if they need it, they don't need it. They're not going to even fool with it. You'll be scraping them off of there in a week or two when they kind of dry up. But even here, when I put it in there, they will eat on it until it's gone. And even though it's gotten dry and stuff like that, they'll still eat on it.
Okay.
And it'll get kind of rubbery, but they'll eat on it. And like if it goes to growing a mold or something like that, then I'll rake it out of there.
Okay.
And then I'll just put some more banana back until they just don't want it anymore.
We were talking. Well, we talk a lot about when we first met. You're real. You're real sketchy on letting people into your bee yard because you're dealing with theft.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to tell a little bit about that and how it happens down here in Texas and how it is a real thing and that people do it.
Yeah, theft is a large thing. Come to find out here. Matter of fact, I set up one yard that I had 15 hives in. And the only reason that I caught it is I'm old fashioned. I hand nail everything together, everything like that. And I don't have a pneumatic staple gun. Well, whoever this was just grabbed the brood chambers out, put it in their boxes, and then put their frames back into mine. And what I was going to do is go back and do some grafts. And so I counted the days on making a graft and stuff. And they had taken, and out of all 14 of them, just pulled the brood chambers out, took them and throwed frames back into mine. Well, when I went back into mine, there was no brood in there. Just the bees that were out that day actually returned. And so when I went back to go make a graft, there was nothing to graft with. And I got to looking, and they used pneumatic nails in the framework. That's the only way I caught it.
So attention to detail, basically.
Yeah, basically attention. And it had to be another beekeeper that did it to even know that, hey, you could grab so many frames out and be able to run off with them.
What part of you don't have that yard anymore, right?
I still have one in the area right
Okay.
there, but that happened in Fredericksburg, Texas. I actually have a case file where they actually research it and everything like that. But yeah, theft is a big deal.
Yeah, and you get caught with beekeeping gear in Texas, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, it's theft of life.
You're in a lot of trouble.
So, it's like rustling cattle or anything else.
Yeah.
And in Texas, like this deal, I've also had them take and uh, still entire hives. Just, I mean, you show up, you've got them set up, and then you come back and four of them were missing.
Man.
They just took over. And I've turned around and I've had other places where, like, if somebody sprays or something and it wipes out your bees, they're actually responsible for that spray. And
Really? Okay.
Figure out who did it.
if you can figure out who did it, they're actually responsible for your livestock on your bees.
Wow. Man. What's
And,
what's been one of your highlights as a beekeeper?
it can be
What's been your biggest high? Let's what's been your biggest like high as a beekeeper? Like, what's the one time as a beekeeper you can remember? Like, man, this was just like the best year. It was everything I thought beekeeping was.
Actually, I sold. I didn't sell all my stock or anything, but I made a good enough sale to where I could put the down payment down on my house.
Mhm.
I've made quite a bit of money off of it. Not nothing that you're going to like jump for joy over. I've made, $5,000-6,000 a year.
Yeah.
I've made up to $12,000 to $14,000 a year, and just have the enjoyment. Me and my wife both go work bees, and so we get to spend a lot of time together.
Mhm.
And I watched her grow into a real good beekeeper over the years too.
Mhm. You said she's allergic, right? Your wife's allergic?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's allergic to bees. She still goes out and works bees with me, everything like that.
EpiPen in hand.
Yeah, she carries an EpiPen, but she hadn't had to use it or nothing like that. We suit up real well. We do work Africanized bees.
Yep.
We're in the major Africanized zone here.
Yep.
And you just got to deal with them. You're going to be dealing with them if you're in the hill country or the lower states. They're pretty much prominent. If you're out working them, they're there.
Yeah, that's one thing we talked about. We're definitely in an Africanized zone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But we actually do our own grafting and stuff like that for our own bees. We've had a lot of success with gentle bees.
Okay.
But we bud the air each year. Like, I go through mine and I'll pull all the drones out except for my gentler hives. And we'll have the gentler hives produce extra drones, and we'll put little patches of drones in each one of our hives in our yards. It's not, but it actually puts a good, since your male bee carries the
genetics,
your genetic angry trait and stuff like that. So we use the gentler ones. We destroy the more aggressive ones, so they don't. And it's actually helped us in our grafting and production of hives. And it works really well doing that, because even though you've got cap drone brood, you can transfer that and place it in other hives. And as far as just pull a frame and just set a chunk of it over in there, and they will take care of it until it all hatches.
Spreading around the genetics.
Yeah, and you're spreading around the genetics. And so that has helped us a bunch too.
Okay, we got Dennis Barney. He's a beekeeper. I carry EpiPen just in case when I do cutouts. Yep. Better safe than sorry. And my mentor here, his rule is don't go in your bee yard unless you're fully suited. That is his rule.
Yeah, you don't go into them unless, even if you're just going to walk up and check them, be fully suited. You never know if gentle bees are going to blow up. You don't know if a coon got up there and aggravated them at their hive all night long, and then you walk up and they're still mad.
Yep. What is the honey production like for his stock versus other non-Africanized stock?
What was that?
What is your honey production like for your stock versus non-Africanized stock? What's the difference between Africanized and non-Africanized?
Well, mine's a percentage. I've crossed mine where I have and it's like a 3% African.
Mhm.
Then I've got uh, uh, Italian and Cornolia bred together along with that. And the percentage of it, I'm going to say the anything with a hybrid Africanized bee in it
Mhm.
and stuff, it's a little bit more aggressive, but it's not that much. And the honey production mainly depends on our rains and our flower position. If you've got good flowers, wildflowers, or if you're pollinating something where you got a real good source, you're probably going to get about, I'm going to say, around 8 to 10 more pounds a hive, and it's going to get there a lot faster with the African bee. But it's a real close race. Even if you've got real gentle, uh,
Hybrids.
like a tau or something like that, and they're real gentle, it's going to run a real close race.
Okay. So they're pretty much
Like
head to head.
Yeah, mine as far as like open them up, like if you've got a hybrid bee, uh, you're going to have right at the box, you're going to have a little more aggression.
Mhm.
But mine are, I'm not going to say they're perfect as far as like being able to take your gloves off and pick a frame up and check them out like you do real gentle Italian.
Yeah.
Uh, Now you can work them. Uh, if you use smoke, stuff like that, and I use burlap in mine mixed with cedar bark, and that works real good. You might have one or two diehards, 30, 40 feet away from them.
Yep.
It's basically right there when you're right above the hive and working them, you're going to have a little more aggression. You might have 75, 80 bees, maybe 150, but they're buzzing you, flying around you. They're not all trying
Yeah.
to sting your glove,
Yeah.
thing like that. You might one or two hive hit you, and but you can take and once you walk away, you seal the box back up and you walk away. Like I say, you might have one diehard that might follow you
Yep.
30 yards,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
DC's
then
we got a guy up in Washington. He's saying we always talk about this. So much depends on location. Location, location, location.
yes, yes, it does.
We can
It does.
one thing we can talk about where our location is, John, is how much farmland is out there that's completely stripped.
There's a bunch of it. Some of it is overgrazing, like where I've got mine is mainly like just pastures,
Yep.
Raw stuff like that. And but it's been overgrazed by goats, livestock, cattle, and stuff like that. So you're not having that major bloom or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
In the urban areas I've found around here, your bees do a lot better because everybody's got flowers in their yards. But you take them out in the country and 10 miles out of town, you might have flowers in the bar ditch, but you look on the other side of the fence and it's overgrazed. So you're
completely stripped out.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Yeah. And or your improved grass has grown so much that there's not very many flowers in it.
Yes.
So your location on your blooming, where you got wildflowers real good, like here, the one I'm waiting on is the algerita berries. Bush, they'll bloom real good. And that is in March. That is one of your first resources your bee's going to be able to get a hold of here in the hill country. And then it'll be starting the wildflowers, but there's places that doesn't have any for 10, 12 miles.
Yep.
So the resources are very limited. And then they'll later in the season where they're going to be able to get a lot of resources is off of like your oak trees and stuff like that, different trees that are going to bloom.
Okay.
And that's where you're going to get a lot of it.
What's
And
what's one thing that you see is you've been keeping bees for 40 years. What's one of the
Mhm.
biggest issues right now you think is beekeepers are dealing with or facing?
One is locations. Like everybody, you can in the hill country, you can go 30 miles and you have a different climate, you have a different atmosphere, different humidities, different forms of drought and stuff like that. So you're, you know, like I've got mine scattered in 4 counties, and each one proposes its own problems. I may have more rain and more flowers in one area, and then it's drought stricken in another area,
Mhm.
50 miles away. And there's not very many flowers because they got it at the wrong time of year. And so you got a late bloom versus an early bloom. And you may not have that many flowers in that area.
Mhm.
But I can say I've had my bees for several years. Uh, the flowers will pay, like in one location when I first started bees there was very few flowers. And as the bees pollinate those few flowers and the seeds are more viable, now the place you drive through it and it's covered in flowers. And that's from going from very little flowers to a full field of flowers in 5 years.
So it can
And
be
that's
done.
just yeah, so it can be done. You can populate it. Like if you have a little bit of flowers, the bees pollinate those seeds and the seeds are more viable, the more flowers you're going to get to grow. It's just going to take time. Like some of them, I'm just now getting them to where they're actually able to produce a good tasting floral honey
Mhm.
due to the flowers. It's just getting the rains when we need them.
That's what Silver
Like,
Gorilla says. We got a lot of beekeepers actually here. We got Silver Gorilla. He's in Texas. There's
mhm.
there's several here in Texas. He's like, hey, don't forget about the bar ditches either. Yep.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
Our
Throw them in.
ditch,
Seed your bar ditches, man.
yeah. The bees will fly down a bar ditch when they find them. They'll fly up and down it just real good. I
Yep.
know one place I had on railroad tracks, and they flew down the railroad tracks. And the
Hitting them.
railroad tracks had miles,
Mhm.
and they did actually pretty good just off of that. And
And you can
that
we can buy seeds if you know a seed wholesaler, you can go buy seeds. And usually
yeah,
if you're like out of ag exemption or something like that, you can get them at a discounted rate too.
you're right. I put out probably about a quarter pound of seeds this weekend.
Okay, nice.
Uh, just walking around, just kick a spot with my boot, drop a little pinch of seeds in there, and then just sweep it back, dirt right back over it.
Yep.
And just once you may get one or two little patches growing, but once that grows up and they drop seeds into the wind
Yep.
or water them or whatever, you're going to have twice that many come up next year. And that's what I've been doing in a lot of places where there are no flowers. And within 2 seasons, you start seeing a lot of flowers. And
Takes a little time. It definitely doesn't happen
it
overnight.
does. It does. No, it's not going to happen overnight, and then it gets expensive.
Yeah.
I'm not going to kid you, you know, I probably put out, and I know it don't sound like much, but I probably put out $25 worth of seeds.
Yep.
And, but in it, and I may not see nothing out of it for another 3 years. You never know. It
Yeah.
could come great. And then all at once, turn around, somebody could run a shredder through it. You
Yep.
never know.
Yep. Yep. Now, we've had conversations, and you said the last few years here in Texas is just in general, really, the weather. The weather. Y-
The weather has really messed with them. 2 years ago, I think we had a bad ice storm. I know
Snowmageddon. Yeah.
yeah, I lost I lost a lot of hives. I'm trying to think. It was around 15 or 16 hives. And it wasn't that there wasn't enough bees in it or anything like that. If you can imagine just one grass stem being like 1.8 inches thick because it's covered down with ice, and the trees broke and then fell on the hives, and that made them break cluster. And that's where I got them. I've got photos to where there's, a 10-inch limb laying on my hives, then it's covered in ice. And the bees froze after the only thing I can come up with is the limbs made them break clusters,
Yeah.
smashing them. Some of the hives I had was just totally obliterated. The stand was crushed, and the hives were crushed and stuff like that from the weight of the limbs and the ice. And
And how many hives did you lose
that
that winter?
I'm wanting to say it was around 15, if I remember right, around 15 hives.
Okay.
But it was due to limbs and stuff falling on them,
In
And
all your years of beekeeping here in Texas, had you ever seen weather like this in the last several years that we've had? When is the
no,
last
I have not.
Okay.
The last time I saw where we had where we even had like stock tanks freeze over where you could walk across them and stuff was back in the 80s. Yeah, it was way back in the 80s.
Do the bees like the
Like,
blue bonnets?
yes,
Okay.
yes. The state
Okay.
blue bonnet that you find in the deal, yes, the bees learned how to stand on the flower, and they smash the bottom of it open,
Uh-huh.
and they'll actually grab a hold of it and collect the nectar and leave.
Okay.
But they have to stand up on the flower to open it up. Then they'll use their back legs to smash it down to get to the nectar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they do. That was a question from Ed. He's another beekeeper. He's up in Alabama. Yeah.
Yeah, they like the blue bonnets. It's just they stand up on the flower and force the flower down to where you've got where the nectar's at. And I forget the little sheath there, but they actually stand up, use their back legs to smash it down, and they'll grab a hold of it and collect it then.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I've watched that because a long time ago I watched bees do that. Yeah.
What are your plans this year for your growth?
Well, I plan on starting my grafting probably around mid-April, and I'm hoping to graft in between 300 and 400 queens this year.
Okay.
And
I'll be helping
I've
him too,
got
by the way, guys.
yeah, I'll have about 50 nukes that I'm wanting to set up, and I've already got 6 hives right now that are 4 boxes strong. They're stacked up 4 boxes high,
Very nice.
and I'll actually take and double queen those. They're keeping them clean right now. They're actually picking up, and I will double queen those 4 boxes, and which will make them produce double the bees. And then I'll take and graft in other boxes, and I'll split those hives down into my nukes.
Okay.
And I'm hoping to do that by end of April. And if everything goes right with my job and I'm not running halfway across the state, but I have been my graft boards and my grafting frames and stuff like that. I still do it old fashioned. I cage the queen and set and count the days and the hours, and then I start grafting.
Okay.
And I'll have to send you photos of the stuff that I use. I build most of it myself.
Yeah, all the stuff. I'll get pictures, guys, on here. And
well, I I guess it's golf tees.
Yep.
I've showed you some of that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I got all the pictures to you. And then I use I've got a wooden stick that I have shaped and used a micrometer on and stuff like that. Get the length and the height, and I build my own wax caps and stuff, and I'll put them on the golf tees and then put them in there. I've also bought like your JC, BZ
Yep.
little cups
Yep.
and stuff like that. And and I found that all of it basically works the same.
Mhm.
The biggest thing that I have seen is like here I put all of my frames in a warm bath of towels and stuff like that where they're hot, and I heat up my wood and all my components before I graft them in there. I'll heat them up for several hours beforehand by hot towels, moist towels, and stuff like that. So I'm not grafting into a cold cell or something like that. It's already warmed up. And I don't know if anybody is grafting, but that helps me a whole lot keeping the larva alive and warm and moist and stuff like that. And that helps a whole bunch. And that way they're not cooling off, dying. They're not drying out, dying, or something like that because of our climate. You got to really keep them moist before you can get it to work.
Yeah, we've talked about that here too, about grafting. How moisture content is critical when you're grafting your
Yeah.
plants.
I actually put them in
after.
Yeah. And I put them in an ice chest anytime I'm transferring them, even if I'm going 10 feet to my truck or 10 feet to a little graft house. I put them in an ice chest that I bring up to 95 degrees using hot water bottles and towels and moist towels. And then I'm transferring them. I set up a timer, 10 minutes tops. It goes back into the ice chest and back into the hives. And wherever you get, that's where you're going to stop. And, instead of worrying about growing, using a frame with 30 or 40 of them on there, I've necked them down to 14 and 18. And once you get that 18 boof, it goes back in the hive. It's and you'll get more quantity that way than if you and I've worked it out more scientifically.
Oh, I was going to get on that. We were talking about this, right? You said one of your hives swarmed out on you, right? And you counted all the swarm cells that were on it. How many was there?
I have seen as many as 28 swarm cells in a hive at a time.
Right, but the last one that swarmed out on you, right? Remember, you said you found 14 swarm cells on it.
Right.
Remember?
Yeah.
And
there was one that we counted 14. I'm trying to think back now. We counted 14 cells. They'll totally swarm out on you. And sometimes one will stay there. Sometimes they won't. Sometimes they'll vacate the whole thing. And I try to go into mine and go through them every 10 days to keep that from happening. This is slip by us. But I have seen them swarm like if you create a nuke and you put 2 frames of bees over in there, and then you put a cell in there or a peanut to hatch. I've seen them where that peanut goes away, they form another swarm cell, and you might just have 2 frames of bees, but by the time they start working and growing wax in there, like if they don't have adequate sugar water or something like that to activate your wax glands, once they reach standing room only on your and you got 2 frames in there, they'll swarm on you. You got to watch it really, really close.
Gotcha.
And you might fill up and just have 2 frames of wax, and that's what they're using, and they haven't built, the other 4 frames. They hadn't even built it out. They're just standing on it. They're not drawing it out. And
I got a
you
question.
turn around.
I'm sorry, I got a question for you. It's a good one. I hate to cut you off, but it's a super good question. It's about Varroa. What do you think of Varroa mites And he said they've been here about as long as he's been keeping bees. Which is about right. Varroa came in about 40 years ago.
Yep, yep. That's when I think we first started seeing them.
Okay.
Varroa mite are vicious. Okay. You can control them. A long time ago, and I'm trying to think of like the strips you would put in there.
The Apivar strips.
Yes, the Apivar strips. That does take care of them. I've gone to that other one that is a natural, like a hops. It works very well.
Okay.
But your Varroa mites, if you watch for them real closely, I'm not saying like I don't believe in grabbing a jar full of alcohol and killing 300 bees. If you look at your bees, when you pull them up on the frame, and I carry a magnifying glass, if you take and just where you can hold your magnifying glass and look over them, the Varroa mites, if you look around the abdomen and stuff like that, and on drones and stuff like that, you can see them. If you're starting to see one or two on a bee set, I would say treat your hives. Some people treat them anyway, even if they're not seeing something. But there is other little mites that are smaller. That's like just as bad as the Varroa mite, in my opinion. And you can treat some of it. I mix up a solution that I drench them with, and I, use a spray bottle and spray the frames down when I pick them up. And plus, it helps hold the bees on it. You're not getting a lot of them flying off or running around. And I mix that mother's vinegar water, and the way I do it, quart spray bottle, I mix mother's 3 inches or 3-finger whips tall in the bottom,
One of those
and then a
Zep
one to
bottles.
yeah, and then 3 fingers whipped in the bottom of it, and then 1-to-1 sugar water on top of that, and just fill the bottle up and shake it, and that will help get rid of some of the smaller mites that a microscope is going to pick up, or you're right around the lid when you open it, and they're little bitty dots, and that helps get rid of it. Plus, when you're inspecting and you're spraying this over the comb and the bees, they're going to be licking it up and stuff, and they're not going to fly off your frames as bad. Like in a more general bee, where you can pick it up and not a bee's going to fly off of it. They're just walking around on the framework. And that helps a lot with a lot of stuff. Plus, it helps them clean out their own stomachs and everything like that.
Yeah, you want to get the Mother's apple cider vinegar. You can, if you're in Texas, you get it from HEB. You want to get either the Mother's, or you can get the HEB brand with the Mother's, because it's probiotics.
Right.
I got a question. What are the smaller mites he is talking about?
I'm trying to think of the name of one. There's one that's like a tannish color. It looks like a little bitty Varroa mite, but it's not. And what it does is it'll get in there and it'll attach itself to the hair of your bee around the abdomen and stuff like that. It just causes irritation.
Okay. It's not a Varroa mite, just another type of mite. Tracheal mites. Yeah. The apple cider vinegar, because of the acidity, from what me and John have sat here and tried to talk about and debated, is the acidity in the vinegar. Is it too acidic for the tracheal mites?
Yeah, I'm going to say it'll help with it if you have a tray. I go through mine with a microscope every so many months, and I take samples and record it, and I'll actually look at stuff under a microscope and see if see if I can see things. Nymphsoma, I'm saying it wrong. Nymphsoma.
Yeah, it's Nosoma.
Yeah,
or
where you
Nosoma, Nosema.
Yeah.
It's like diarrhea.
That right there. Yeah, I will treat that. I do have some fungal bee, but I've learned that, like, if you put 2 drops in a half a cup of water, tea tree oil,
Yep.
and you blend that up and you put a little bit of mothers with it and stuff, and then feed it. That will help with it too. And
It's Nusema. Yeah. Nusema.
yeah,
Nusema. Yep. Okay.
help with it. Now, in worst case scenarios, you're going to have to go to that fungal bee or something like that to get it blocked down. And then they also have a deal where it's white wing. White wing is almost like Nosema. It'll have the same characteristics to where your wings. I'm not going to mention it where I bought them from, but I bought a couple of package sets one time, and I spent more time treating those than if I would have just let them die out and bought some more. I spent probably what I could have bought another 6 sets for, and brought them back from nothing. I've seen them like you buy a package set. 20 days they're working real good, and then all at once they drop back down, get them back where you might have 2 cups of bees in there. You go to treating them and putting all this money into them, and then I've brought them back to where that one turned out to be 5 boxes strong. But you're going to sink some money into it. There's areas where you got to look at where you're going to be able to cut your cost and start it over versus trying to bring them back. You know what? That's fine line there.
Yeah.
There really is. And these I bought that way. Luckily, I didn't put them in any of my yards. I actually had them in my backyard where I could keep an eye on them because I was going to do some special stuff with them. And find out I was sinking about $300 in treatments on both of them. And I was like, okay, go. And
too much work, too much money, huh, for those ones.
Yeah, too much work and too much money. I still have them, don't get me wrong, but to get everything cleared out of them, everything like that, because I was seeing all indication of a white wing, and then come to find out they were infested with varroa mite when I bought them, even though they said they were inspected. And it should have told me because I seen high beetles come in the package sets. This one had high beetle, varroa mite, soma. They were sick. And when I got them, there was a lot of dead bees in the packages. Watch for this because even though they're inspected and they're coming to you, they might have got into a patch of varroa mites before they got packaged.
Yeah.
And, unbeknownst to the seller, and then when I got them, I noticed there was a lot of dead bees by the time they shipped them from Texas. And it's like, okay, but I still, put them up and went to work in them. And if you got a good package set, you're going to be stacking a box within about 35 days.
Okay.
Where they take off and stuff like that. You're going to be stacking a box pretty quick. Okay. And
well, if for beekeeper, first year beekeeper, what kind of setup would you like? Would you recommend a package, a swarm? What would you recommend?
I like them both as far as package set. I do like them both. Package set, if you buy a package set, you want to set them up to where you're feeding like a 2-to-1, like 2 pounds of sugar to 1 pound of water. Make it real good and stout, and just feed enough at a time to where you might be going out there after the first 10 days, but you're going to have to watch. Or younger, you're going to have to watch for robbers, and hopefully you don't have any robber bees in the area or feral bees in the area.
Yeah.
If you don't, you can feed like the little porch feeders. Make sure your doors are small, like 1/4 inch, something like that.
Okay.
And that's what I would do.
Okay.
And but you can do the smaller
Okay.
setup.
Okay.
Now I can set up. Now if you've got a nuke the same way, I would feed them really, really well, sugar water, a 2-to-1,
Mm-hmm.
and watch them flourish. You know, just make sure you don't get a feral bee coming to the feeders,
Okay.
and that'll work out real good that way.
All right.
And
Oh,
but they're both, one's going to pick up a little faster just due to the wax that's inside there. Its main deal of being able to bite with a good laying queen.
okay.
If you got a healthy, good laying queen in there, they're going to pick up really fast.
Okay. Either way.
And
Okay. I'm gonna ask you one last question here, John. We're going on the 10 o'clock hour here where we're at.
okay, all right.
One last question. If you could tell a first-year beekeeper anything, what would you tell them?
Be patient with them,
Okay.
and be patient with your bees, and feed them really, really well for the first year.
Okay. What would you say to like say a first-year beekeeper, right? Like I'm technically still first year, right? We met when I was coming into my
Right.
first year. If there's something you could tell a
Right.
first-year beekeeper, like be patient, feed them, stick with it. Is there anything else you would want to tell them? You know?
Well, let's say a person, they lose their bees or something
Yeah.
like that. It may not be their fault. It may be the climate. It may be the type of bee. It could be a number of different things. Number one, don't give up.
Okay.
Don't give up. Try it again.
Keep trying.
And yeah, I would sit there and I would feed them and work them. I would inspect them every 10 days. And then I would keep, feed on them, and just really watch for parasites. After your first year doing that, you're going to learn a lot just by watching them, knowing your climate, everything like that. That's what I would do.
LaGrange up north said he lost all his first bee, lost all my bees on the first year, was totally my fault, but I learned from my mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Learn.
Yeah.
They're gonna teach you. We're not gonna teach them.
I've been at it 40 years and I'm still learning. That I guarantee you, I'm still learning. And I learned from everybody from a first year beekeeper up to people that I know that are older than me and has done it a lot longer. And the bees are going to teach you a lot. They really are in this.
I'm a firm believer that we're not here. They're not here for, how am I trying to say it? We're here to learn from them, not the other way around. They're going to teach us stuff. If we just pay attention to what they're doing, they're going to tell us a lot without even talking, man. It's attention to detail. It really is.
Right.
Yeah. We'll go.
But I'll get some other stuff gathered up to where you can get some photos.
Okay.
And it may give other people a good ideas,
Yeah.
I'm not saying all mine's perfect or anything like that, but it may give somebody else an idea that helps them. And but I'll
real quick, Silver Gorilla, he said, John's awesome. We need to hear more from him. Yeah, and I want to get him on camera because he's got a lot of good ideas about beekeeping, about grafting, the gear he's building, and his brain is full of knowledge, you guys. This guy's been doing bees for 40 years. Okay. He's like a hidden gem. He's a diamond in the rough. He really is. And I value his input. Like when I come out here and I tell you the stuff that my mentor tells me, I'm not, you guys probably think I'm crazy, but no, this dude's been doing it for 40 years, man. 40 years in the same area of Texas. So, I value his input, man. And I'm glad he took time out of his night to come here and talk with us and just, yeah, really, it's, we're going to learn a lot from each other. All of us. But yeah, I'll go and wrap it up there, John. And thanks for taking the time out of your night, man. And tell Charlotte I said hi.
All righty, I sure will. I appreciate it.
No, appreciate your time, John. Thanks for calling, man.
Uh-huh.
All right, talk to you
Bye-bye.
later. Bye. All right. So that is my mentor, John. He is a South Texas beekeeper. He's been doing it for a better part of 40 years. You know, in my opinion, I think that's one of the best things to have ultimately is a mentor. That I really am, LaGrange. I feel very fortunate and very lucky. I really do. I really do because the Heroes to Hive said, "Hey, you know, we're going to teach you what we can, but we're not going to teach you everything. We'll give you the basics, right?" And dude, how I met John was I was wearing a shirt at the damn grocery store, dude. Dude saw me wearing a shirt that had my Time is Honey stamp on it, right? That had my logo. And dude flags me down as I'm walking in. He's like, "Hey man, my neighbor's a beekeeper, right? Been doing it for a long time." And I told him what I was doing, right? And he's like, "Yeah, let me get your number. I'll give your number to him." And he's like, "Yeah, he's a veteran too." So John's a veteran also. John's a military vet. Whenever he's ready to tell his story, he can tell you his story. He won't even tell me it. It's like one of those things like, "Hey, dude, I'll kill you if I tell you." And like in Minecraft. It absolutely is. One with so much experience is priceless. You can't pay for that kind of experience, man. And that's John's John's input, man, to me is so valuable as a new beekeeper. It really is, man. When I'm working with him, I just shut up, man. I just listen. I just listen because there's so much experience in that brain of his. And like I said, man, you walk into his house, it's all beekeeping stuff, guys. It's all beekeeping stuff. It really is. At certain times of year, it's more full of beekeeping stuff than other times of the year. And yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. If you could find a mentor. Okay, so you ran into my beekeeping mentor at work. Random chance. Awesome, dude. See? But hey man, let's get him on, Spanky. Love to have him on, dude. Bring him on. Let's have him chat, dude. You know, get some of these old school beekeepers on here, man. Get them, uh, you know, swapping information. Could you imagine getting another beekeeper with 50 years of experience or 40 years or whatever, dude, and getting like say 3 different beekeepers with that kind of experience in one chat? Dude, get 100 years of beekeeping experience between 3 people. Could you imagine that? How badass would that be? Between 3 or 4 people, get 100 plus years of experience, sharing all that information. It's there. It's there. And it is how I ran into my mentor. And you know what, Spanky, was I was looking for a mentor. I had gone to the Hives for Heroes, try to find a mentor, and I couldn't find one. Couldn't find one, man. I got very lucky with John. I really did. And for him to be so close in this couple another county over, you know, I do. I feel blessed to have him. I feel blessed to have him as a mentor. I really do. Because you know what? When I have a question, I can call him and be like, "Hey, 30 frame extractor." Oh, dude, you should see his dining room. Dude, one of his whole rooms, it's like you walk in and like you walk into John's house and you turn left and it's just like all beekeeping stuff. It really is, man. Oh yeah, you're talking it is. It's for him, it's one room is all the wood gear, another room is the extracting equipment. The kitchen's all the you know, it's all the pollen prep stuff, it's all the sugar, you know. And that's just it's the life of a beekeeper, man. I do too. New and old beekeepers, man, for sure. No doubt, because everybody's going to have an idea, man. Everybody's going to have an idea or a thought or something new to bring to the table. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. New and old. I'm all about hearing from new and old too, man. I, the club out here where I started in the hill country, guys, with the beekeeping club, it's going to get big. Yeah. Once we get it started, we'll start posting on YouTube. I'd like to open a channel for the whole club to be able to post to. So I think I'm able to do that. I'll just give everybody the password to the channel, to the YouTube channel. Be like, hey, you know what? Um, just go ahead and post all your beekeeping experience there. His channel is Major Honey. Last time he uploaded was a year ago. Okay, sounds really busy. YouTube and personal experiments was my mentor. Yeah, that you're right. Experiment, dude. Why not? Why not? Yeah, same here. I haven't had my bees for a whole year yet, so I'm still considering myself a first year. All right, I really am going into my second year technically, but I'm only having bees for my first year. All right, the girls in my yard are cut out. It really is, Kai. And you're all the way down in Jamaica, dude. We're getting different perspectives from you too, my brother. We're getting perspectives from you all the way up here in Texas and Canada. Okay, I'll check them out. Major Honey. Okay, definitely. Yeah, Kai. It always is, man. It always is. And I can't wait to get this beekeeping club going because I really would like to see what everybody's doing. And the club it's mostly veterans. It's mostly veterans. I don't even want to call it a club. It's like I'm tired of people. I call it a colony because I want it to function like a colony, like a beekeeping colony, like a bee colony. Like as one, as a unit, as a cohesive unit. None of the bitching, none of the complaining. You know. Oh, Lagrange problem with living in an apartment is though storage. I gotta find my. Yeah, so I could store supers for Lagrange. Real life problems as a beekeeper, right? You got an apartment, you got to find more storage for all your stuff. That's great, man. He's like, I have a pathway built through my apartment. It's like to the kitchen, to the couch, to the bathroom, to the bathroom. He's got a little maze. Lagrange's got a little maze built up in his house for all his beekeeping equipment. But yeah, man. No, it's good to get different perspectives. And yeah, we're gonna have John in here some more, because we only had him on here for about an hour tonight, and that's barely picking his brain, man. So, being out in the yard with him is even better. Yep, need you a bee trailer for your equipment. Yeah. We'll see here. I can actually, when it comes down to it, I can actually write off some of my square footage at my house as long as I store my beekeeping equipment inside. I don't know if I need to have a business license though, but I know here in Texas, your beekeeping equipment is 100% write off on taxes. You can write everything off. Storage equipment and tools. Yeah, a lot of storage. I know I have one room and it's, dude, it's not even touched on the storage, man. Like I could still put another whole shelf in there with storage in it. Really good, man. I know storage equipment and tools a beekeeper's dream, right, Kai? Well, you know what, man? I'm super excited because I met a cabinet maker tonight, and he supports like veterans and stuff, right? And I was telling him what we're doing with beekeeping, and I was like, "Well, they got any scrap wood?" You know, and he's like, "Yeah, you can have all you want." So I'm gonna jam this guy up for whatever scrap wood I can get off, and he makes cabinets. So I'm sure he's using some decent cuts of wood, and I'm gonna start getting some of this scrap wood and getting start building nukes or something with it. Get me a table saw, handsaw, and I have a nail gun or I have an air compressor. All I need is a nail gun now, and start building nukes or something. Start getting the dimensions, start building up some nukes. Because if this guy's gonna give me all this scrap wood for free, I'm gonna go get it. He said, "Take as much as you want." And it's all untreated. It's gonna be pine. Some of it, I'm sure, some of it might be some good oak. Who knows? Who knows what kind of wood it's gonna be? But he's like, "Yeah, take whatever you want." And you know, uh, I'm gonna cross paths with him later on, man. Seeds for bees. Okay. On seeds for bees, recommend you check your local feed store. Okay. No more room in my garage now. It's my guest room. James. That's good, dude. Seeds for bees. I'd probably go to 50 Hives easy. At a sink. Yep. You could yeah, you could get you could probably do it in one of those like those old trailers, buy one of those old metal trailers, those storage like units, whatever you want to call them. The how people are doing. Hey, Larry Moore Farms, dropping in a little bit late. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, we're still running a little bit. Talking about storage space. Everybody's saying like, "What's the beekeeper's dream?" And Kai said, "Storage equipment and tools." That's a beekeeper's dream right there. Storage equipment and tools. And you know what? It pretty much is. More boxes, more gear. It's an expensive hobby. It's not cheap. That's one thing you can guarantee about beekeeping is it's not. If you're in it for the money, I mean, you're going to be putting in a lot of work for the money. Okay, you're probably going to spend more than you make unless you're doing commercial. Yeah, what's up, Larry Moore? Good to see you tonight, man. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you dropping in here. Yeah, I had my mentor on here a little bit ago. We'll have him on again. Um, he's been keeping bees down here in Texas for 40 years, and he was, telling his ups and downs, and how he does, and all those kinds of things. Yeah, dude. If I could, I'm saying you're right. If you do it right, you're absolutely right. It could make you money. It could. Like if I had two, right? If I had two hives that were producing really good, told them to buy cows. Okay. You know what? I've thought about that. What companies could I write to? What companies could I write to out there? Be like, hey, could you shoot me some free wildflower seeds? I'm trying to reseed this area for my bees, and you know, uh, why not? I know the local ag department I can go to here. If I could get what I want, it would be know what to do next, right? Know exactly what to do next, right? When to do it, how to do it, and exactly like the process, everything, right, Larry? Exactly. I'm with you. When and how. It'd be like better if the bees would just come tell you, "Hey, we're ready to split. Can you come split us down?" Or, "Hey, we're ready. We're about to swarm out. Can you come help us?" Right, dude. Yep. Yeah, to livestock. Yeah, livestock likes cows is a friggin' pain. Dead cow, 10K down the toilet. Yep. Dead queen, $45. Largest I would take is goats and chickens. Yeah, largest I'm going after bees is chickens, man. That's it. And I'm going no larger than chickens. And in Texas, by law, you're allowed to have 5 chickens no matter where you live. I know, get them to send them a notification. Get a text on your phone. Yeah, they tell you. You just gotta go out and look at them. They'll tell you. Corey Stevens? Okay. It's best to restock it for free. Yeah, no, dude, I wouldn't care what kind of man. I wouldn't care what kind of seed it was. I know I can go to the local ag department here and I can get seeds. I think last time I checked, I could get a 50-pound bag of clovers, a clover seed. It was for like $200, and 50 pounds, I think, will seed an acre or a few acres. I'm not sure what the seeding is on that. I don't know, but I'd be real interested to know that, Peter Gunn, definitely. Because why not? If there's seed banks that are willing to give out the free seeds, we might as well exploit those resources. Just use them, right? Home recipe for feed. Okay. So you got to own your own feed recipe for your chickens. All right, nice. Yeah, why not cut a few bucks, right? I'm having trouble with the language. It's bee language. Spanky, will you shoot me over those companies, man? Will you let me know what companies they are, brother? I'd really be interested to know, man. I really would. Well, yeah, and Texas, here's the thing, it's Texas is migratory route. Big time. Big time. It's there's a farm here that recently shut its doors down. It was a big monarch pollination, and you got to think about bees aren't the only pollinators. Monarchs are pollinators too. Big time pollinators, man. They pollinate just like bees do. So yeah, I mean, why not? So 30-pound bag whole oats, 20-pound bags whole corn protein, black oil sunflower seed, split peas, flaxseed, and then you also put some protein diatomaceous earth supplementing. Okay. Okay. That's a loaded with protein, right? Hey, good night, Geo now. Oh, dude, if they're shooting out, dude, I'll advertise for them. If they're gonna give me free seeds, I'll advertise for them. Yeah, let me see. Good night, Geo. I don't know if I have people able to post links, man. If you want to email it to me, you can email it to me. Or what's the name of the video? I'll post a link. I mod my own channel right now, so yeah. What's the name of the video? I'll pull it up and post a link for sure. Let me know. Because that's good stuff, man. That's nothing wrong. Not a problem. You got to mod him? What do you mean you got to mod him? You got to moderate for him? Okay, how to make your own DIY healthy homemade chicken feed. Okay. To make your own DIY healthy homemade chicken feed. Here we go. Found it. Is it Acres of Adventure Homestead? Yeah, this looks like it right here. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, I don't have any mods on my channel yet, though. Dude, I only got I only have 267 subscribers. I don't need any mods yet. My other channel, I have mods, though, for sure. Have to. Loud noises. Yeah, you guys probably got feedback from the mic. No doubt. I could turn that down, actually. Yeah, no, I actually got some new sounds in here, too. We'll hear it from here, too. Sorry. So there's a link for it right there, yeah. And it looks like a pretty nice recipe, too. It's the thumbnail's real funny. It shows a chicken. Chickens are funny, man. They're cool to watch. Using split peas. Using a lot of really... Man, I bet they dig this, huh? Tried a few... I just upgraded some studio equipment, so I'm still... Yeah, for sure. Spank, join the stream, brother. Dude, anytime, man. For sure, man. You join the stream anytime, my brother. For sure, dude. Welcome anytime. Welcome, welcome, welcome. By all means. Do you have waiting lotto numbers by chance, Spanky? Because that would be totally cool, dude. Then I could buy more beekeeping gear. Yo, Spanky, what's up, my brother? Spanky in the house. All right, Spanky. How you doing, brother? I can't hear him yet. He says, I control you. Yeah, kitchen scraps are good too, man. Any kitchen scraps, you just throw them to your chickens, man. They'll eat everything. Yep. He said he was going to give me something. I'm going to join the stream and give you something real quick. Yeah, time is honey. Talk to me, Spanky. It's the Spankamus. Spanky. You my boy, Blue. He's probably getting something right now. Can you hear me, Spanky? Oh, okay. Okay, outreach. Okay. Oh, thanks, Spanky. Okay, got you, brother. Cool. Okay. There we go. Okay. Outreach at EdenBrothers.com. Okay, so that's who I need to email. Thanks, Spanky. I appreciate it. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, and if they don't eat it, they just scratch it and it just biodegrades, you know, it just goes if they don't eat it, yeah, it's just in the pen and yeah. Yep. I'd like to get chickens this year. I really would. In Texas, you're allowed to have chickens by law. You're allowed to have 5. It's pretty rad. Oh, I will for sure, Spanky. I'll tell them for sure that I'll advertise. Oh yeah, dude, chickens are ruthless. Chickens are ruthless. I mean, they're good at keeping snakes back. They are, man. They're good at keeping snakes back, man. That's what I've heard. They're excellent, dude. Yo, Spanky, what's up, brother?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I sure can. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing all right. I don't have my setup set up, so.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to keep it podcast tonight kind of style, man. You guys
Well,
know-
that's good. I don't have the camera hooked up.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And you know, I had my mentor on, and he's a little camera shy and things like that. But you know, figured just kind of keep it chill tonight, man.
Yeah, I figured I'd share that with you so you can maybe try to get some seeds from them.
Yeah, and I've reached out to companies here in Texas to see if there is like programs where they give seeds out to beekeepers to reseed areas for free. You know, why not? It's productive, right? But I honestly couldn't find anything. You know, I think.
know.
Go ahead.
Do you have any Dollar Trees near you?
Yes. Yes.
I know back in the day they would throw the seeds in the trash.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, that was the old Dollar Tree way. Once it's time to switch out to a new season, they would throw it in the trash.
Okay.
It'd be in the dumpster.
See, I wonder if Ace Hardware is like that. It might.
I don't know. I don't know if they do that now with all the I guess you'd say advertising that they do that on YouTube. They might not do that anymore.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
I know the Lowe's here, it actually keeps the expired seeds and then puts them back out next year in front of the new seeds.
Oh, really? So yeah.
Yep.
Lowe's got smart about their paint too.
So
They got smart about their go back paint.
here you have to check all your seeds to make sure they're the actual new seeds and not the old seeds.
So Lagrange said he still has to work on selling honey because he's got 15 gallons. So So you market it. Have you put it out on Facebook, LaGrange? As far as build up right now, Larimore, they're building up right now. Yes. I just put bananas on my bees yesterday. I'll probably end up going back out here in a couple of days and slapping more bananas on them because the rate they were going at them the other day, they're going to be gone in a couple of days. So the bees down here are definitely gearing up. It's getting warm down here. We're having 70-degree days. The days are getting longer. Yes, banana, correct. Yes, correct. Bananas. Yep. High protein. Yep. I have a mentor. He was just on here not long ago. We were just talking about bananas. Typically, we want to do it going into spring because it's going to boost them up. It's going to give them a really big boost. Yep. Oh, they're kind of closed at the moment. Okay. Talk to them. Yeah. You could probably sell honey. Dude, you can sell honey anywhere, man. Yeah. Silver Gorilla, mine are going nuts. Have to split a week or two. I won't be splitting probably till later in the season, you guys. Honestly, I got to get my box built up to 2 bees too deep, and then I'm gonna split them. And my mentor John, he said he's all, dude, you're no doubt your bees are gonna explode out. He's like, just be patient, just wait. He's like, wait, they're gonna get big, dude. He's like, you're gonna probably your head's gonna spin when they do get big. So. But yeah, Larimore Farms down here in Texas. My mentor has been doing bees for 40 years, and you know what? That's a method he uses when for his bees coming out of spring. Even sometimes in the winter, he'll put bananas on them as a source of protein just to keep them strong. Nope, not at all. Dude, not at all. They go Larimore. They bypass the pollen patties when I put the bananas on. No, they don't. They really don't. They really don't. I have not noticed a triggered response to the bananas. Not once. They're more pissed if you don't show up without it. Actually, what I've noticed, when you don't show up, they're mad. Yep. Yeah, I'm going to order some more boxes this year, and that's exactly what my mentor said. He's like, Rich. He was like, be patient. He's all, dude. He's like, bees, they grow down in the winter, but he's like, dude, when they grow in the spring and when their time is ready, he's all, dude, they grow exponentially. He's like, that first hatch, say, might be 500 bees, right? You might get a brood pattern, might start out at 200 bees coming out of winter, but he's like, those hatches only get exponentially bigger. He's like, that 200 bees, guess what? That second hatch is now 400. That next one is now 800. It's just getting exponentially bigger every time they hatch. So he's like, yeah, be ready. He's like, and you're going to split them. And yeah, that's exactly what he said, dude. Silver. He said exactly that. He's all, dude, they'll boom on you. He's like, they will boom on you. And he's like, you're going to be standing there, with your head up your ass. And you'd be like, what happened here? It's like that. Just bees. One thing bees do is populate. Bees breed. They hatch, and there's nothing stopping that. No, I haven't got my brood. I haven't got my brood box fixed. It's cross-combed yet, man. Oh man, John told me to wait. John told me to wait on that. He's like, just wait until spring. To go in there and break them open. He's like, you don't want to mess with them just yet. And it is. Basically the brood chamber is 6 frames glued together. And I can look down in there and I can see all the little bridges they formed in between the brood chamber, man. And it's like, do I leave it like that? I have to get in there and check the health of the brood. That's for sure.
It's a mess when they do that.
Yeah, man.
I had a 10 frame run it the wrong way in all the frames.
Well, see, Kite in Texas, we're in a drought right now. So I hear you, and I do. I'm watching them bring in pollen, and they're in a 10 deep, right? And they're not drawn out. They still have 3 frames that they can draw out, plus another 2 deep on top of them. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, they multiply and make honey. That's pretty much it as far as they're concerned. Right? That's all they care about. We're gonna reproduce and make honey. That's all we care about. Yeah, what were you saying, Spanky? Sorry, man, I didn't mean to cut you off, brother. My bad.
Oh no, I was just saying that I've had that experience of opening a box. You got to pull a frame out, and you can't pull any of them out.
No, I can't. And I know the queen's down there somewhere. She's down there because I look down there and there's a lot of bees. But
Yeah,
it's just these bees. I don't know what they're capable of yet because this was a cutout. I don't know what their capabilities are. Yeah, see, that's what I'm kind of waiting for is to see if they pull out some other frames because I have empty frames in there for them to draw out. You know,
so if you don't have any drone comb,
Mhm.
what I'd recommend is what I did, which was give them another deep, let them build that out. If you don't want to mess with the comb that's crossed,
My mentor said
for
exactly that, Spanky.
yeah, for fear of hurting the hive, possibly killing the queen, give them another deep, let them draw it out.
Yep.
Then basically split them and then deal with the problem.
That's it. That's exactly what my mentor said. He's all wait till you split them and then deal with that problem. He's like, build your bees up to 2 boxes deep, good and strong. And he's like, split them down and then deal with that comb problem. And he said, wait till. Yeah, Central Texas is in a drought. We're soaked here with more to come. Yeah, you're a different area. Yeah, Central, Southern Texas. Yep. Sugar water. Yeah, I'm with you there. Yep. Yeah. I have to wait. I got to be patient with it because it's and they did that themselves, man.
Yep.
When we did the cutout, everything was straight, but once we put it in there, they went to work and started gluing everything together, man. And they did a really good job of it, and they don't want that brood chamber coming apart, obviously. So I'm gonna have to destroy it. And John told me, he's like, you're gonna have to destroy that brood chamber eventually, because you want to get in there to check the health of the colony. You want to check for things, and that's what I haven't been able to do is get in there, check the health of the brood. That's important. I have to see what's going on down there. But it's, again, pull up 1 frame and 6 frames come up. Little shits. Yeah, good suggestion. Yeah, I think so too, Spanky. And that's the thing. I have another 10 frame on top, and what I have is a sugar shim in between of 8 pounds of sugar. So they have, they for sure got the space to draw out. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. Stick with it and let them wait because they're bringing in pollen. It's just a little bit right now, and like Silver says, Central Texas, we've been in a drought. The lake here where I live is at 6%, man. Probably lower now, but 6%. I mean, and Texas, it's weather patterns. Texas is honestly due for a flood, you guys. When? Who knows? But it's bound to happen. Not if, it's just when. Yeah, see, and Larimore, I have what I'm doing is I'm feeding mine out in my yard, but across the property. Like, so they're flying all the way. I have an acre, so they're flying across the property to get food, which is fine. And that's kind of what I wanted, just so I can monitor them for now. Once it goes into full bore, I'll take that feeder off the property, and they'll have to go to work for themselves. But
so you're open feeding?
Yeah. Yep. Right now I am.
Have you ever encountered any lost bees at the feeder?
Waspies?
No, lost bees.
Lost bees?
Yep.
I get all kinds of bees at the feeders.
Well, if a lost bee is a bee that doesn't know where to go, or it refuses to go back home, so it just stays at the feeder.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen bees at the feeder then, yeah. Just refusing not to go home.
Yeah, we used to open feed whenever we first started, and eventually there was enough bees at the feeder that I just set a box down and they went into the box, and it looked like a colony.
And did they stay?
Well, I mean they're old foragers that are ready to die. So,
Okay. Yeah.
but they were mean. They would sting you. They would chase you away from the feeder.
Oh, really? They're like, can't come near me here. My feeder. And Larimore, where are you at? Where's your location, brother? Forget. Yeah, you put liquid on them too quick, and could freeze them.
Yeah, we did the 5-gallon bucket feeder. So,
Ah.
yeah. But whenever you had to change it, like Collie Farm says, it's like they would garden the feeder.
Eastern South Carolina. Okay. Yeah, we're central. I'm Central Texas. Like Hill Country, Texas. We have pretty dynamic weather system here. We have the watersheds are small, lakes at 6%. It really is. We're in a drought, man. We need a lot of water right now. We need a lot of water. And for the lake to refill, for Medina Lake to refill, we would need like a week of solid rain. And it would need to flood ultimately. This area would need a lot of water in order for the watersheds to refill. It'll never happen out, not in our lifetime, that's for sure. Watersheds here in South Texas never will refill. Hey, he's calling me back. Hey, John.
How's it going?
I was still running the stream. Hey, give me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up real quick. Hey, guys. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the stream here. And we'll catch you next Monday, guys. So you have a good night, guys.